Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today I thought I would show you my art journey from the last few years until the present. So the oldest artwork I have here is about me age 13. So in year 8 I have a few of my major art pieces from year 8, and then I have a lot of my schoolwork and then all the other stuff I've worked up until now. Now obviously I have quite a bit of artwork to show you. The reason I'm showing this to you now is because there's a lot of big exciting things happening to me over the next few months, and I'll tell you guys what that stuff is soon, but basically because of that stuff, a lot of my artwork is going to get put into long-term storage. So this will basically be my last opportunity for a very long time to show you guys my cringy year 8 artwork. So the stuff that I did when I was like 13, 14 was genuinely terrible. So that's going to be a lot of fun to show you guys. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video and I will start showing you the stuff I made when I was about 13. I will stress that I didn't take art seriously when I was a child. I didn't do a lot of art. I drew a lot of dresses and I used to borrow a lot of manga costume design books from the library. For some reason there was heaps of books on specifically manga clothes. So all of my stuff is really basic. So for example, this is the first big painting that I did in year 8. It is a turnip. This is literally just really cheap acrylic paint. I did it in my year 8 art class. I called it Mr. Happy Turnip, and because of this painting my art teacher called me Turnip Girl for the next 3 years after this. And then I continued the series with Mr. Happy Toast Man. Obviously a lot of technique in this one. This is some abstract art I did. It was inspired by tropical rainforests, as you can see by the colours. We did some still life painting. I genuinely just think that my year 9 art teacher gave me crayons to draw this with. So around that same time, I was really into Twilight, like the book. I was obviously a very angsty teen, so I drew this, and this is supposed to be Bella Swan in New Moon when she collapses in the forest hella dramatically. I loved this drawing. I thought that this was really good compared to what I used to do. She's lying in a forest crying because, yeah. And then I had this weird obsession with drawing manga style eyes. And then I did illustrations for Beauty and the Beast. I think this was year 10. And then we did an Indigenous art unit when I was in year 10. We actually had someone from the community come in and teach us how to do this. I'm quite happy with this. I also made an echidna, but I have no idea what happened to it. I think the school kept it actually. And then this series here is me drawing a winery, so that's some preliminary sketches, and then this is a pastel version. That was the final version with coloured pencil. The perspective's so bad on this, how tiny that tractor is. And then we just have this. This is another really bad drawing. This is how I used to draw people a lot, just standing straight on. And this was my major piece from year 10. But in this class I did an abstract-y version of Paris on a Rainy Day by, I think it was Gustave Caillebotte. And from far away I think it looks really good, but up close it still looks pretty bad. It's abstract because I didn't have a hope in hell of drawing their faces properly. I have this sketchbook. This is my year 11 sketchbook, right? So I moved schools. So this is from the whole year, and I did my art majors and I did the proper SACE course for art. I only have the sketchbook from year 11. I don't know whether one is from year 12, which is a shame because I worked so hard. During high school, during my final year of school, I used to stay up until 2 AM or 3 AM every night adding to my art folio. Okay, so this is just my year 11 art folio. This is all of the work that I did during the year that I was 16. We have the first page, and oh, this is actually the first essay I ever wrote in English studies. I spelled therefore wrong, how embarrassing. Okay, moving on. Obviously an acrylic painting of Snoopy, and then this is hands basically. That's from Horton Hears a Who. Oh, look at her face, this is so dodgy. My major piece for semester 1 was actually a really big Peter Pan painting. That was actually pretty dodgy looking, but this is me setting up for doing the painting. So I decided I wanted to do it in black and white, so I just have tonal shading and stuff over here. So that's just a little mock-up of what I was gonna do. This is a really bad portrait. I'll see if I can find a photo for you guys of what it actually looked like. But I got an A+ for it. I got 96 out of 100, which is pretty good. We had to do a unit on Howard Arkley, which is an Australian artist. I hated Howard Arkley. I really didn't like his artwork. He did these really weird
Sharpie drawings, so we had to recreate them, and I just hated them because I thought they were really bad. And he did like heaps of like doodles and little sketches like this, so I had to recreate them. I spelled primitive wrong. Some more artwork on Howard Arkley. We had to work on it for absolute ages. Some abstract stuff. And then this painting of Nick Cave that I did, I actually quite like this because I think it's pretty good. And then for semester 2 I decided I wanted to do a sculpture, so I started making a little lotus sculpture. I started going into like researching like different butterfly sculptures with, I think this was a Coke can that I used, like an aluminium can. And then I decided to make my last sculpture for the year on my favorite film at the time, which was 500 Days of Summer. So this is me like starting to work on that. And then we just had little paper sculptures, so these two people stand up. And then I kept making buildings and stuff and practicing that. I made a little tree. We had to do these visual studies every semester on like a different artist. So for the other one I did Howard Arkley, but for this one I did this artist, which is An Jean. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I did it in the middle of doing my book sculpture, I remember, because I left it to the last minute. But yeah, he had all of these really beautiful like floral patterns and stuff, so I tried to recreate them. So the last thing I did was a bust figure inspired by this picture here. The painting that I made looks like really dodgy, like it looks like a really fat baby. So that was the end of that visual study, and then I finished my major book sculpture. So I'll insert a clip here of what it looked like in the end. I was really proud of it because I thought it was really, really cool. During this time, so during year 11, in addition to doing school, I actually started doing a TAFE course as well. TAFE is like a higher education provider in Australia, if you're not familiar with it. And I did the course in fashion design. So for this course, I used to study like 1 day a week in addition to doing high school. But the coolest thing that happened was that I discovered digital painting. Because there was this like tablet, like drawing tablet, the first time I saw a Wacom drawing tablet. So because of this class, I got really obsessed with the idea of digital painting because I thought it was just magic. Even though I didn't have a tablet at home, tried my hand at digital painting, and I drew this piece. And the reason why I don't think it's that bad is because I used a mouse to draw this, and I did it in Illustrator when I should have done it in Photoshop. Like, I never got into digital painting because I didn't have a tablet at home, and I didn't even have my own computer until I was about 16. When I started at this new school, I had to have my own computer, so I got my own computer. Like, I got home from school when I started this, and it took me like all night to do this drawing because it was like so difficult. But yeah, because of this class, I started getting really interested in digital illustration, and that's kind of where that spark came from. I was very lucky because of the whole like vocational education training scheme, that I got to do it in addition to doing high school. But yeah, moving on into year 12, this is my very last year of studying art at school. As I said, I don't have my folder to show you, which kind of sucks because there's so much stuff I could have shown you from that. So when you're doing, say, stage 2 art or year 12 art, basically you have to do 2 different majors. And it is this portrait, which is huge, by the way. So this portrait took me about 3 months to do. It was such a difficult painting to finish, and by the end I hated the painting so much. I couldn't look at this painting for like 2 years after year 12 because I got so frustrated with it. Because of the time of the year and because I only had access to really cheap acrylic paints at home, the tonal shading here, like something went weird with the paint, and because I was living in a house that like the heater was running and I couldn't control the heater, so I couldn't turn it off. The paint dried weird and then it ruined it, and I had to scrape it all off and try again over and over and over again. But anyway, I did that, and that painting ruined acrylic for me. Like, I hate acrylic now so much. Like, if I look at it, I just get real mad. And this one got a way better grade, and this only took me like 3 hours to do, and I was so salty about it because the last painting took me like 3 months. I love this painting though. This is done with the Winsor & Newton watercolors, but around this time I was 17 in my last year of high school. I think it was in March of year 12, I actually filmed my first YouTube video, and it was a painting video, and I hadn't done the big huge acrylic canvas painting yet, so acrylics weren't ruined for me yet, but I did the lonely houses painting, and I loved this video. This is my very first video on YouTube, and it was just the most nostalgic video because I used like San Cisco for the music. I still have the painting, so it's just here. It's a bit
like ripped and frayed. And yeah, that's basically how I started doing YouTube. I upload like one video every 6 months for like ages or something like that. And after my art majors, I had this massive spans of time where I didn't paint anything and I didn't draw anything. So basically what started me getting back into art is because my boyfriend started doing a course during my second year of uni where he had to get a tablet, like a Wacom tablet. This drawing tablet here, which is like the version you can only get in like India, it was only released in India or something, and Tyler bought it for like really cheap off of eBay, and it's this teeny tiny tablet. I still use this tablet today. It's like really dodgy. We had to replace the cord because the cord was like not working. It turns off every now and then randomly, but I love this tablet so much. So this is 2015. I was 19 at the time, and I started like trying to improve my digital illustration. But I started doing stuff like this. This is one of the ones, I can't remember what date I did this, but I would have said around mid to late 2015 that I started doing this. These two pictures here that I did, and they're really, really bad. But I just wanted to start improving my art skills, but I wanted to actually start really getting into it, and I did this particular portrait here. I just wanted to do something that was very like pink and pretty, and this also is supposed to be Kayla Scareldio from Skins, and it looks nothing like her. It got to a point where I just gave up on trying to make it look like her because it wasn't her at all. And then I was speaking to a friend who he went to a private art college and did like digital painting stuff. And he had like really inspired me to get into doing digital painting more. I was talking to him about like his process for how he improves on paintings, and he was talking about like just take like an object from life and like basically paint it. So until now I was using like the regular Photoshop brushes that come with Photoshop. And he introduced me to like the world of textured brushes, and it was just like amazing. And I got a picture on Tumblr that I had reblogged ages ago, and I did this picture. And I am to this day really proud of this picture because I had not been using the tablet for long when I did this. It took me 2 days to do this painting, and it looks really good. Like I love this painting. It looks exactly like the mushroom that I copied. And then going towards the end of 2015, I knew that we were going to Japan, so I wanted to start building up my my skills and stuff because I knew I was going to get art supplies in Japan. Being a student, like art supplies are very expensive, and I knew that Japan would have cheaper art supplies. Around this time I got like my first couple of Copic markers. As I've said before a number of times, in Australia Copics are like crazy expensive. So I started like building up like my art skills for that. And then I did this picture which sort of shows my style starting to develop. I sort of decided around this time that I wanted to do not really realistic art, more like illustration, more cutesy chibi type people and characters and all that kind of stuff. And while this picture isn't particularly good, it sort of shows me trying to use texture and shadow to do a portrait. I had purple hair back then, like my hair was very vibrant purple, and so all the pictures I did of myself had purple hair. But yeah, and I did that one, and then I did this teacup one here, which was another picture. You can see my tattoo. About this time I was just trying to like really develop my skills, and then my style still wasn't like that great, but we went to Japan. I bought a heap of art supplies, and because I bought them, I decided I was going to really buckle down and start doing art properly. Okay, for those of you who have seen my Japanese art supplies haul, you would be familiar with this sketchbook and this sketchbook. And I started trying to fill these when we were on holiday. So some very cutesy like manga type figures. I started just trying to draw different figures in different styles. This is supposed to be Sosuke from Ponyo. I started just drawing heaps and heaps and heaps, and it was really great. This is a self-portrait. This is a little mushroom girl. These are supposed to be really cutesy. Edgar Allan Poe's, that's a window. I haven't really used this sketchbook very much because, as you can see, the pages fall out pretty badly. But in the sketchbook, I kept using it after we came back from Japan, and I also drew my picture of Hermione. Which is another video here on my channel. And this Hermione is basically when my style started really forming, because you can see like the shape of her eyebrows and the shape of her eyes and her nose, and that was when I started putting a lot of effort into developing an illustration style as such. And that was around the time that I started my my Instagram account, which is the one that I currently use. And I had this pink portrait here that I also did, and this Count Olaf here. From this time onward is sort of like a new period of my illustration, because I started like sticking to the same style, which was sort of this kind of cute style illustration with like big eyebrows and big eyes. And then I did more cute like chibi figures with Copic markers and all that kind of stuff. This is just Scully from X-Files, just a few like developmental watercolor sort of pictures here. And then the last thing I have to show you are from these 3 sketchbooks, which is all stuff that I've done recently. So between like mid 2016 until now, this is when my illustration style has gotten the best and I have been drawing the most consistently.
Okay, so this sketchbook is from about the end of 2015 onwards. The first picture is just an illustration I did of Rey from Star Wars. So this one is Dumbledore, this is Clementine from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I love that film so much. We just have Baymax. This one is probably one of my favorite illustrations I've ever done. I love this illustration. It was a portrait of a little girl from Humans of New York. She looked really cute, so I decided to draw her. This is Shirahashi from One Piece. This is a person with a cup of tea that just says ocha, which is tea in Japanese. I've written Japanese next to like a lot of these because I was just trying to practice my hiragana at the time. This is supposed to be like the evolution of me. Okay, so this is me when I was 5. This was supposed to be me when I was 10, but I never ended up finishing this one. This was me at 15 and this is me at 20. And then I ended up doing this one. This ended up being a digital painting as well. I like the graphite version of this picture a lot better than the digital illustration though. I'm not sure why, but it just looks better, I think. This is the protagonist from Boku no Hero Academia. This one, I must have been taking my sketchbook with me to the city when I went because these are 2 more people that I saw. So this person plays the banjo in Rundle Mall every now and then, and he looks a little bit like Bill Weasley, so I drew him. And then this was like a really like classy looking person who was doing her grocery shopping. I started getting a bit obsessed with drawing these really cutesy witches. This one is Happy When It Rains. This is another digital illustration. And then this one is Storm in a Teacup. I absolutely love this little like adage phrase thingy. This is a picture of a Ravenclaw person. And then this one is Alice in Wonderland. And then this one I was getting like more angsty about the fact that I was really stressed out at uni. This is Kyari Pami Pami. I went to her concert in Melbourne last year. Normally I wouldn't go like interstate to go see a concert, but we actually got tickets to meet her, which was really cool. The tickets were like really cheap too. It was only like $100 and something to like go to the concert and to meet Kyari Pami Pami. And then that is Luna Lovegood. This one is the Baba Yaga digital painting that I did. And then this one's really sad. I read an article on how the last woolly mammoth died and I got really sad about it, so I drew the last woolly mammoth. This is 11 from Stranger Things. I loved Stranger Things so much. This is a self-portrait. It just says special talents include sleeping, sarcasm, watching Disney movies and crying. And then this one is just another little witch that I did. So her skirt's supposed to look like a bluebell. This is just an illustration I did of one of my favorite Instagrammers slash YouTubers. Her name is The Pinup Companion and I absolutely love everything she does. I'll link her channel in the description down below, but I did this one and then I did a Copic sketch of her, which I'll show you in a minute. And then this is just the Spirited Away painting I did not that long ago. Last one here is the swing picture for the video I uploaded last week. I just have this sketchbook here. This is a mixed media sketchbook. So that was just the very first day for Inktober. October 2nd was a air balloon. October 3rd was me sleeping at my desk. I skipped October 4th because I was like way too stressed out with uni to be doing a drawing challenge. This was a like dancer that I did. And then the last few days I did of Inktober were, this one was the 11th and then the 12th. I bombed out of Inktober really badly. Like I tried really hard to start doing it and doing it every day, but I got like really stressed out because of uni. So next to that I have some Copic stuff that I did. These are my favorite favorite colors. I love this shade of green, I love this shade of purple, and I just wanted to make some more like colorful pieces. This is just the Copic version of that illustration I showed you of the YouTuber before. This was supposed to be my reaction as the last episode played of The Crown, because I didn't realize I was on the last episode until the end credits rolled. And then that's it for this one. And then we just have my Copic sketchbook that I got. So the first page, I had already started this when we were in Japan still. This one is just a picture of Ariete. The colors are quite vibrant on this picture, so I'm really proud of it. I think it looks really good. This one is supposed to just be a witch's house. This one is my no post on Sundays picture. I love this picture so much. I think it's so cute. I love the way that his hand looks with like the little biscuit and his like flush cheeks. Okay, and then the very last one is just this loose page that I did, but this is just based on a picture that I saw on Pinterest. It was like a really, really pretty looking person like reading a book, but she had like a really big skirt and short hair. And I think I've now shown you absolutely everything.
I hope that you liked having a look at some of my artwork from the last few years. Of course, I couldn't show you everything because this video would be way too long. I have shown you like a massive chunk of the stuff that I've done since I was about 13, and if anyone's ever looked at my art and thought, oh, that's really good, please just look at the stuff that I did when I was 14, or even the stuff that I did 2 years ago, because it's not that great, and I've come a long way and I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, as I said, this stuff is all gonna get packed away soon, so I just thought I'd share it with you guys while I could. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a lovely day. Bye.